Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Skip Bayless predicts Cowboys record this season. The Dallas Cowboys are coming off another disappointing playoff result, despite being one of the best teams in the NFL during the regular season, including having a perfect record at home. The Cowboys fell in the first round of the playoffs to the Green Bay Packers. After their first-round exit, fans and analysts alike called for major organizational changes. While there have been some shifts in their coordinator roles, the Cowboys' on-field output could look similar next year. With this in mind, noted fan Skip Bayless took to Twitter, outlining what he thinks the team's record is going to be this season. Optimistically, I have the Cowboys going 8-9, Bayless said, noting the team will have losses at CLE, Balt, at Pitt, Det, at SF, Philly, Ho, Cincy, at Philly. Bayless doesn't seem to have a lot of optimism for his favorite team, as he notes later in the tweet. He also said these all-in Cowboys obviously are not as good as last year's. They've lost so much. There are several weeks until the NFL season starts, and a lot could change between now and then. While Bayless' comments might seem dramatic at the moment, he generally has a pulse on what the team is going to be like. Since Dak Prescott is still the quarterback and Mike McCarthy is still the head coach, there is only so much growth the Cowboys can have moving forward. Can they find a way to prove Bayless wrong and make a deep playoff run during the 2024 season? Cowboys news, Jake Ferguson says, not even scratching my surface. Tight end Jake Ferguson believes he can take another leap in his third season. Now, as Ferguson enters his third season, he is without a doubt the Cowboys' top tight end. In 2023, he caught 71 passes for 761 yards and 5 touchdowns and was named to the Pro Bowl. To me, I think I'm not even scratching my surface, Ferguson said. There's so many things that I want to get better at and I know I can get better at. We watch film every day of different games, even the practices we're doing now, and I'm like, okay, I can get a lot better still. Tight ends coach Lunda Wells tells his players to shoot for perfection and achieve excellence. Ferguson has taken part in the tight end university program led by Greg Olsen, George Kittle and Travis Kelce. Wells mentioned 1,000 receiving yards and improving his blocking as goals for Ferguson. The great ones play consistently on a high level every year throughout their careers, Wells said. The Jason Wittens of the world. The Kelces of the world, so you want to be able to chase that consistency and play great every year. I think that might be one of the things he's focusing on. Hey, anybody can do it one year, but can I do it every year? Take a deep dive into the Cowboys' 2024 schedule and all of the pros and cons that come with it. In breaking down the 17-game slate, there are some items that immediately jump to the forefront for consideration, from the number of prime-time games to the assessment of miles traveled between games, with everything tidbit carrying some weight either for or against the Cowboys. Notable schedule quirks: 9 home games, 6 prime-time games back-to-back prime-time, Week 4, Week 5, no 3-game homestand, no 3-game road trip coast-to-coast travel, Week 8, Week 9 mini-bye week post-Thanksgiving. 6 of the final 9 games are home games. All told, this will be one of the most pivotal seasons in the Cowboys' history, in a lot of ways, and they're hoping to finally get over the postseason hurdle that's existed since they hoisted their 5th Lombardi trophy back in the mid-1990s, when gasoline was still roughly $1 a gallon. Mike Zimmer discusses the changes he anticipates for this defense in 2024 and what that may look like for Micah Parsons. Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy is very familiar with Zimmer from McCarthy's time coaching the Green Bay Packers against Zimmer and the rival Vikings. McCarthy says the 2 biggest changes with Zimmer taking over for Dan Quinn, who is now head coach of the Washington Commanders, will be the language of the scheme and technique changes along the defensive line. The team is adjusting to using Zimmer's language. When McCarthy took over offensive play calling last year, he adapted to the offensive language that was already in place. One other change: Zimmer will be on the sideline during games. Quinn preferred being in the coaching booth. "Well, I've always been on the sideline," number 1, Zimmer said. Number 2, "I want to catch them when they come off so I can talk to them. If there are adjustments that need to be made, then I want to be able to sit down and do it with them. Lot of times I tell them if they mess up, go on the other end, don't come by me." On next steps for All-Pro defensive end/linebacker Micah Parsons, he doesn't have to take many steps. Cowboys QB Dak Prescott pitched as package deal for NFC East rival. Dak Prescott may be entering his final season with the Dallas Cowboys and could be strongly considered by a division rival looking to make a splash next offseason. Barring any changes to his contract situation, Prescott is set to be a free agent next offseason. He'll likely command top dollar and have no shortage of suitors. FS1's Nick Wright believes the New York Giants will make a play for Prescott and look to pair him with Bill Belichick. "I think it is on the board that Dak Prescott and Bill Belichick are a package deal next season to the New York Giants," Wright said on The Herd on May 14. "Bill gets to come back to the Giants, they get to steal away the Cowboys' quarterback and answer that problem. Everywhere Bill could go, it's like, well, the job's open, probably because they don't have a quarterback. Bill's already gone through that. I think Bill and Dak could go, and you could remake an entire organization. I think the New York Giants are a very viable option." The Giants will start Daniel Jones next season. He signed a 4-year, $160 million extension with New York last offseason. The Giants have a potential out next offseason, which would limit the amount of dead cap they would incur by cutting Jones. Wright didn't limit that option to just the Giants. He thinks the Belichick-Prescott package could help revitalize multiple franchises in need. By the way, the Giants aren't the only team that could do that, but with Bill Belichick floating out there, and Dak Prescott the best quarterback in forever to, potentially, hit true free agency, Wright said, there is the ability for any franchise to, with the stroke of a check, remake the entire version of their team. Greatest coach ever, one of the best quarterbacks to ever leave via free agency, in his prime. Prescott is coming off a Pro Bowl season, the third of his career. He recorded a career-high 4,516 yards with 36 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. Prescott's QB rating of 105.9 was the best of his career. Belichick parted ways with the New England Patriots in January. He didn't land a job this offseason but has a Hall of Fame resume with 6 Super Bowls. The Cowboys have talked a lot about an extension for Prescott, but it appears that little is being done about it. Still a lot of work to be done and questions to be answered moving forward. We don't know how this is going to play out. But we're looking at the distinct possibility, being that he can't be tagged, that Dak Prescott could become a free agent in March. Free to go wherever he wants, ESPN's Adam Schefter reported on May 15. Dallas and Dak have not made any noticeable progress towards a new deal. Prescott has said he's focused on this coming season. He'll let his future unfold after that. "I'm not going to say I fear being here or not. I don't fear either situation, to be candid with you," Prescott said in April via The Athletic's John Machota. "I love this game and love to play. Love to better myself as a player and my teammates around me. Right now it's with the Dallas Cowboys, it's where I want to be, and that's where I am, and that's the focus. And after the season we'll see where we're at and if the future holds that. And if not, we'll go from there." Prescott and the Cowboys have a projected win total of 10.5 next season. Dallas has won 12 games each of the last 3 seasons. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Dak Prescott? Leave your opinion in the comments.